with chapter 5.
You're putting me on the spot, Jabulani, but yeah,
Yes.
finding exact scores. That's as far as I am.
Okay, it's fine. And then I think we've realized that the formulas are not as hectic in comparison to those formulas from last week. I think everyone who managed to read that chapter, you realize last week was a little bit hectic because we're focusing on 2 chapters actually, because we touched on central tendency, of which is the mean, the mode, and the median. And then we jumped onto to variability, of which is the range, the variance, and the standard deviation. So if you read published journal articles, you see that the report is on the mean and the standard deviation. And I explained last week, why is it like that? Because we need to find a score that is representing the sample. So that is the mean. But we are not aware, or we don't know if that score is a good score as a representative of that sample. Let's say we collect data from a class, and let's say the average, people call it the average, the mean is 70%, but okay, we can say that class is a good class, is it? If we can use the word good. But okay, we don't know that much until and unless we assess the variability. How are the scores close to each other, and how far are they from each other? Even before that mean, or even after. Before as in scores of 60, 55, 20, and scores of, I said 70, is it? Or 72, 75, 80. So having a mean score on its own doesn't tell us much, and we cannot confidently move on to say this class is if it's 75, maybe it's an A class kind of, or if it's 80, it's a 80 kind of class. But the standard deviation helps us to assess if there's a problem in terms of how the scores are spread out. So in research, it is not expected, or it is not desired for the scores to be very far away from each other. Let's say, although we can have a mean of 70, but maybe we have scores of 10%, 10%, and a lot of 90%, I'm just saying. So if we add all those and divide, maybe it will come out to 70%, but actually we have maybe more scores on the other side and scores on the other side. But what is wanted is to have scores that are very close to 70. So if that happens, we can confidently generalize the findings. Because statistics is actually, we collect data from a sample, but actually we want to answer the questions that are existing in the population. So that is why it is believed that the population is distributed like that. That is why we need it to be like that. So that is last week. And then some people like, I say, what is a precise median or whatever? I'm confused. So the intention here for our exercises is not to show the burden, or maybe to prove that things can be hard. We stick to what is important and what is necessary. And I explained as well last week that why are we almost ignoring that precise median? It is rare in social sciences that we focus on that. And the median is used mostly when the data is not normally distributed, mostly if you read around. So that is why we are almost ignoring the precise median. But at the end, I want to finish a little bit, but there are so many ways of assessing. I think 2 or 3 ways of assessing that precise median. But the way that I showed last week is the easiest one. Okay, so that is the easiest one. For example, we want to assess where exactly is the median. So let's say we have a score of 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. I'm not scripted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then another 4, and then a 5. Okay. Under normal circumstances, normal as in what we did for our median, we find the scores that is at the center, is it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if we have 4 scores and 4 scores this side, it means our median is 2, is it? But the preciseness of that median, that score of 2 from statistical point of view, from the real limits, this 2 is actually representing any score from 1.5 to 2.5. So it's possible that this 2 that is here is kind of a round off figure if you read the real limits stuff. So that's what it means. But now for us to identify that precise median, it's rare that that question is even asked in the assessments, just for control. So what do we do? You kind of, sorry, my list. It's supposed to be a straight line. Don't laugh at me, is it? And one, we want to draw kind of a histogram. That's what we do. Even assessors are scared to ask this kind of a question, but I can ask, if I set an exam, I'll ask this question. And then, no, sorry, excuse me. So we have 1 score of 1, so it's here. So the histogram, you write the value at the center. So it means from 0.5 to 1.5. And then we have 2 scores of 2. So we have a 2, it's written at the center like this. Oh no, 3, is it? I don't trust you anymore. Last week we did something wrong. I'm just saying. Should I continue trusting you with the answers? Last week, like I said, the answer is 230, but actually it was not. So today I wrote my answers aside just in case. You guys, what's going to lead me astray? That's the word, is it? And then a 4, don't worry about this. If you don't know this, don't worry. But there's some people, it's a personality, is it? Like, I don't know, I want to understand everything, and it's not a problem at all. That's what I did. That's how I become a better person. So now we need to find that precise median for this course. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I don't want 8. Where did I did something wrong, is it?
There's another block by 1, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I need 9 scores.
There's another one that I think you
What?
just crossed over with your
with the line. So
Which
there's
one?
with the Y line at the top there.
I don't know this Y line and X. Oh, there's a 1. Okay, thank you. So it's like this. Okay, that's what you mean. I'm left-handed. My mind is vice versa. So I know this is a Y line, X, Y, but I can't do that. I teach statistics. I'm a research psychologist, but that vertical and horizontal, please don't tell me about those things. My mind doesn't work like that. But thank you. So what do we need to do now? We need to have equal number of blocks on each side. When we need to draw a line where we divide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we need 4.5 and 4.5, is it? Where is that line? 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is that line?
Between 2 and 3.
Where? Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere there.
No, not somewhere. We need precise.
it's on 2, I think.
Yeah, like yeah.
Yes.
No, it's okay. Let's do it. Let's try it. Guys, this for Z scores, this class. We should rush to Z scores. I don't want to do this. I don't think it's correct. Now, why are you saying
the line that will represent 2.5? So between the blocks of 2 and 3.
The 2.5 is this line?
Yes.
Okay, let's count. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not correct. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Okay, guys. And this is incorrect. because 1, 2, and it's half. Half plus half, that's 3, and it's 3.5. So it's going to be 3.5 this side, and what? 5.5, 4.5 the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, so it's incorrect. Okay, think about it. We're going to finish it at the end. Just take a picture, and let me take a picture. No, I can't take a picture. I don't want to. I want you to tell me where should we draw that line so that we have equal number of blocks on the other side. But don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Does anyone have an answer? Just try before we move. We don't come back. No, Fundo, why do you have flowers after your name? Okay. Who are we speaking?
It's Bonolo. Good evening.
Yes, what did you say again? Bonolo. Okay, yes. Where should we draw that line?
I asked if the line has to be straight.
Yes. Excuse my writing. Straight. It's a straight line. Oh, don't you? I know your type. Okay, you want us to have a line like this? Bonolo, I'm so disappointed in you.
What?
You want us to have a line like this?
No, not like that.
Like what? I'm joking though with you. I'm joking. Yeah.
Like a cross, like diagonal.
Like this.
No,
Like this.
No, like okay, like from yes.
No, not like that. But thank you for trying. So food for thought. Let's proceed. Somebody tried. At least I'm happy that you tried. Actually, I don't want to come back. Let me show you where the line is. The line is where a third. We leave a third of each box here. A third and a third here. And 2/3, 2/3, and 2/3 of this side. So if we add the third and the third and the third, what is it again? It's 3, is it? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I correct? Not a third, a quarter. I want 3.5. Is it? We need 3.5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we need 4.5. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we need a half from these. We need a half. We need a section of these 3 blocks to make a half, so that we have 4.5 blocks. So how do we obtain a half from these 3? So that's what we need to do. Okay, we'll come back to it. Just think about it, so that we can have 1, 2, and the other sections of these blocks to make it 4.5 and 4.5. So that's how you get the answer. And then where that line is where that one can say 2 is equal to 2.8 or 2.75. It's not 2.5. It's actually less than 2.5 because the line is going to be somewhere here. I think it's going to be 2.25 or 2.3. I will check when you come back. But it's not a big deal. Don't worry about those things. Come back to it. I don't know the answer. I was just drawing, and that's how to do. Okay. So now, in research, most of the time you have several samples, and also we need to compare the samples and the outcomes thereof. And those samples that we have, they have different mean scores, they have different standard deviations, among other things, although it's normally distributed. So remember, we are aiming for a normally distributed kind of, for normal distribution. That's correct English. But we need to compare. Like, for example, what they do that I'm thinking metric in South Africa, whereby they compare the quantiles in different provinces and whatever. So they do that. They standardize all the scores and which one is the mean, which one is the standard deviation, and then they locate your score, your mark, if it's mathematics or English or whatever subject, they will be able to know who did well in comparison after standardization. So Z-scores are actually called standardized scores. That is the other word. I don't know who named them Z-scores. You can find that about it, but that's not the purpose of this module, though, to find the kind of why is it Z-score. So what, at the end of this kind of exercise, quick one, I just want you to understand that Z-score is used to locate a score in a distribution, and we are going to calculate these two. Transform Z-score into an X value and transform X value into a Z-score. X value is in, let's say you get 70%, and then we want to compare with other campuses, how did you do? And we are able to do a search if we convert all the scores into Z-scores, okay? But sometimes people don't want to be told about their Z-score. I don't want standardization, I want my own mark as a person. So we are able to transform whatever Z-score that we have given the mean and the standard deviation. So we cannot calculate the Z-score without the mean and the standard deviation. So that's what we need. So if you look at the formula, it's actually the score, Z is equal to X. X is the raw score minus the mean score divided by the standard deviation. I'm going to show you. And yeah, and also this one I'm going to describe. Anytime any distribution is converted, let's say the mean is 60, the standard deviation is 15. If you convert all those scores into standard deviation, the mean becomes 0 and the standard deviation becomes 1, whatever. So that allows us to compare them. Okay. So we don't want to do this. We talked about it at the end. Just think about it. You can answer in the WhatsApp group. And this is what I've just said. You can read. See, I typed wrong here. I must have typed 1. I do apologize. I don't know what I was thinking. I added this actually today. This is supposed to be 1. Let's write here. Some people, this guy. Let's write it for us. It's 1. So every time you convert, whatever the mean is on a normal distribution, the mean, if you convert, the mean will become 0, and then the standard deviation becomes 1. Okay, so it allows for comparison as such, like what I've just said. But now we need to jump into, so actually the advantage of Z-score, if you check on the Padlet that I gave to you, I was asking you so that we know how to locate that kind of a score in a distribution. So this is a distribution. Something like, what is it talking about? This is a distribution. And I'm saying if we convert, this becomes 0, this is the mean. And we have standard deviation points of usually 1, 2, and 3, and minus 1, minus 2. So the negative values are just showing that the score is below the mean. And the positive values, they don't write the positive sign though, but it's actually showing that the score is above the mean, is it? So we can locate a score. Let's say we are comparing all the samples or even a single sample. I asked you in that Padlet to identify where the line lies. Let's say 0.50 is here. Minus 1.50, it is here. Why do I want you to know this? Next week we have probabilities, kind of a hectic section. But if you know how to calculate the Z-score and identify where the line is, it's quite easy. So the probability is concerned with what is the probability of obtaining a score that is greater than 70%. So it's used for modeling a lot. So people in human resources and even health, they use that, even psychology as well. We use probability quite often. So it's important that you know how to locate where a score is lying on a distribution. I think we are fine with that. So what I'm saying is that all the scores that are from 0, let's say this is 0, all the scores this side, it means they're above the mean. And then this side on a negative, they are below the mean. This shape is symmetrical. So if you check at the back of a textbook, on the last pages of the textbook, there's no negative score of Z, but that negative is just showing you if the score is below or if the negative is below and the positive above the mean. Okay. So I think that's quite easy. This statistics, this is what I mean. I could have kind of used this and not draw my ugly, use my ugly writing, is it? So this is 0, this is the mean. Some people are like, what's this? This is the sign for the population mean. And this is for the population standard deviation. For a sample is M. And for a sample standard deviation, it's an S, okay, a letter S. And the variance for population standard deviation is this squared. So what is the relationship between variance and standard deviation? If anyone remembers. Okay, can you calculate standard deviation using variance? I'm asking that intentionally because there are questions that comes, but I've added a question as well for exercise now that will require something like that. So standard deviation is a square root of variance. Okay. So it is, I always struggle to write this. So this is variance. This is standard deviation. For a sample, remember this formula. This is variance, and this is, so if you are given a variance score, but you are asked to calculate Z score, but excuse me, now Z score, we don't have a formula like that. We don't have variance. So it means you need to convert it into standard deviation. So that is why I'm asking you that question. But anyway, if you don't know, it's not a problem. But those are some of the tricks that comes in the assessment. Okay, so this is the normal distribution standard deviation. We're able to locate, is it below the mean, is it above the mean? And next week, you're going to use it fully for probability to assess. Let's say you want to say, hi, Jablani, what are my chances of getting an A for statistics? We are able to answer you when we have the standard deviation, the mean score for the class, and maybe from the previous classes, and we are able to do a search. So it's modeling, it's used quite a lot. That's what I was saying. So this is the formula for Z. It's very simple and easy, very, very easy. That's what you're going to be doing quickly. What is the time now? 2:00. I wanted to get done at 1:15. I think we'll do it. So this is Z, X, and then the mean and the standard deviation. It's like a 6 that is facing the other side, is it? But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not testing that. What I wanted to know is, like I explained when we started the meeting, why are we interested in the mean? Why are we interested in standard deviation? So it's coming back to you. So, but you're not going to be asked to calculate that mean is given to you. But in case the mean is not given, the standard deviation is not given, and then you are asked to calculate the Z score, you are able to do a search. But in this module, we have never done that. To ask you to calculate the mean from the raw scores that are given, and even to calculate the standard deviation, but we are given these scores and asked to calculate the Z score. Let's start. And then, so we want to make use of this and do our calculation. And then the next phase of, remember I said you want to identify a Z score, and then you also want to convert a Z score into an X value. So we are going to be using these two formulas. Okay, we can write them down, can take a picture if you want to, but I'm going to share these slides, but I must correct that said standard deviation 1 of mine. So it's very simple, very, very easy, but there's only one trick that I want to show you. Okay, let's start with the first one. So find Z score corresponding, we have a question similar to this on our Padlet, so please take part. I think I've provided answer for 2 just to guide you. And from my experience, people end up not being interested in the Padlet because they know that the people are going to give them answers, and then they know that Jablan is going to provide the answer. So what? But I think, like what I said in our second meeting, that teach your mind with exercises. As you do that, you convince it that actually what you are doing is not kind of hectic. So now the question is asking us to calculate, to find the Z scores, is it? And then you know the formula for Z score. We said Z is got X minus, excuse my writing. I don't even show my kids this writing of mine. And So I don't like to write like this, like a 6, because some people say, why are you writing a 6 like this? So this is a standard deviation. Okay. So what do we do? I think this is quite easy. We need different people, not the Fatimas and the Teresas and the Alexias of this world. We need different people today.
Can I give it a try?
Yes, Monolith, thank you.
Is 60 minus 55
Mm,
divide by 10,
mm.
which will give us 5/10, which is 0.50.
Okay, thank you. And you write in 2 decimal places for z-score. So 0.50. And it's a positive, so you don't need to write a positive. So it's you leave like this. And thank you so much. And the next person. This evening is quite easy. There's nothing else about z-scores that come. Like there are some funny exercises in the textbook, but don't focus on them. We don't have such in this module. But if we have, I'll get your assessment, like I told you, like a week before. If we have something that is funny, I'll give you an exercise for that, and then we do it together. But for now, focus on this. From the previous 5 years that I've been teaching this module, what we are doing is what we always. I said some assessment sometimes. I'm waiting for someone to unmute and speak. Let's do the second one.
So are
I
we
got
still
you, Jabulani.
calculating the z-score?
Who was first? Okay, who was speaking now? Is it Teresa Molefe who was speaking first? And then Abdullah was second. So Molefe do the B and then Abdullah the C one. Okay.
Okay, we'll say 60 minus 75 over 10.
So I can't hear you.
60 minus 75 over 10.
Okay. Sorry, my writing. You see, I write a 0 the other way around. My left-handed, like this. Who does that? I don't know if you have left-handed people here. They say you're going to die early. Do you know that? I'm joking. Don't worry. They say we are clever.
It's equal to -1,
Negative? Okay, so
1.
we are saying -1 because 60 minus 75 is minus 15, is it?
Yes.
You said -1.
Yes, -1, 50.
Okay, so we are saying negative because this is a negative value. The negative, it means that the score is actually less than the mean. That's what it tells us. So in a distribution, let's say you want to identify that mark on a distribution. Let's say 0. I'm just going to write this. Let me finish this. Minus 1.50. And this is the answer. So it's somewhere here. Let's say this is 1. Minus 1 and minus 2. The line is somewhere here. Okay, thank you. And Abdullah, the C1.
It's 65 minus 60 over 10.
No, we don't have a 10 over 2.
Over 2, sorry.
Divide by 2. So 60 minus 65 divide by 2. So it means minus. So don't forget this negative. Our score, let's say it's an assessment. If you forget to include this negative, it's a 0. So it's usually 2 marks for each. So we give a 0 for that. We ignore everything else. So it minus 5. It is minus 5. Sorry, divided by 2. Yes, Tabitha.
Yes, I'm struggling here with the calculator. When the answer gives me in a fraction, for it to go to a decimal answer, where do I press?
Your calculator is giving you a fraction.
Yes, for instance, when I do like 60 minus 65 divide by 2, it gives me a fraction, like minus 5 over 2.
Like this.
Yes.
I've never seen that. Which calculator is that? You have a fancy
borrowed from-
calculator. You can use your phone. Use your phone. Can you open the calculator of your phone and use that one?
Okay, let me try.
Try your phone, and thank you for asking like that. I think on a Padlet, someone said the answer is a fraction, or I said no, the Z scores are not in fraction. They're in decimal places like this. I don't know why is it like that. I've never seen that, except those calculators for advanced mathematics. So anyone who is listening, you don't have to buy an advanced calculator. Use your phone. And thank you, Abdullah. You can try your open your phone calculator. Yes, Rapilang.
Hi, is she using a Casio? Tabitha, are you using a Casio?
Yes, yes.
There's a small button there that has an S with arrows and then a D, and then you just press it, then it will give you the decimal form. Did you find it?
You said S and arrow going like
Yeah, two
sideways.
arrows facing the D, and then the other arrows facing
Okay.
the S, and then it's when you press it, it should give you a decimal form.
Thank you so much. I got it.
You got it. Thank you so much, Rapilang.
Yes.
Actually, tomorrow you can throw away your calculator and get another one. I'm joking. I'm joking, guys. But also thank you for asking that. That's what we need. These exercises are for us. It's not like we are here to whatever each other. And this kind of help is what we need. Like even asking, like, "Hey, Jablani, I'm getting a fraction. What's this?" And that's what I'm expecting as well. And thank you for doing as such. And thank you, Rapilang, for even coming up. Is it making sense to everyone? Anyone? Is it helping?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to the last one. Who wants to try this?
Say before we go, I just wanted to confirm, because you said the answer should always be in 2 decimal, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now the answer that we just got now, the minus 2.5, in my calculator it only gives me 2.5, and then the 0 we just need to add.
Yes.
Assume
Like
that there's always a 0.
Yes. If you check, if you have it, I'm going to send. But it's for next week though. In the last pages of your textbook, Z scores are in 2 decimal places. So if we write like this, it's not like wrong. We cannot use the word wrong, but some people will not find, excuse me, where is that Z score? So it's easier for us to do like this as well, in terms of when we want to make use of those Z scores, I would do as such. So you just add a 0. So when there's no score, you add a 0. Even here we added zeros. But the answer is not always 0 at the end. Sometimes it's 2.55, depending on what the question is. Okay. We are fine. Let's try the last one. This is the easiest one, actually. But it's the way that it's presented. So you have to think about it. Exactly what we're doing here. Anyone wants to try? So in the numerator, in the equation, that is the difference. So that difference will tell us if there's 10 points below or 10 points above the mean. So we are given that point already. Yeah. Okay. So it means below the mean is minus 10. So it's 10 points below the mean. It means actually maybe it was, what is the mean again? No, we don't have the mean. Let's say the mean was 60. So it means the score was 50. So that's what it is. It means. And there are some of the questions that may be asked as well in the assessment. So that's why I've included this one in the morning. So the standard deviation is 10. So the answer is minus 1.00. So what we are doing in the numerator is to identify these points below or above the mean. Like for example, here, it was 15 points below the mean. This one was 5 points above the mean. This one was 15. This one was 5 points below the mean. So that's why I've included this, just to give you heads up. So I think we now know how to calculate the Z-score.
So can I ask you something, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so for instance, they'll say, what is 10 points below the mean and a standard deviation of 10, which you did there, which is minus 10 over. So that would basically mean whatever the mean is, minus 10 points below that. So minus 10. Okay.
Yes. So
if
it
it's
means
50,
it means the score.
Okay. Okay.
If we say above, the answer will be positive.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So it means in a distribution below is somewhere here, but we don't know. We want to use Z-scores to identify that. If it's above, is somewhere here. Like what I'm saying, next week we're going to say what is the probability of obtaining a score that is 10 points below. So we'll be interested in this section. That is probability, proportion. Quite hectic, but we'll do it as well, like in this manner. I think it is quite, this exercise, they help a lot. I think without this exercise, people can easily fail. I used to teach at UWC, public universities, people fail statistics easily. And they repeat a lot. So yes, Teresa.
I don't get the D one at all, if I'm honest.
Which one?
I don't know why D, the 10 points below the mean and the standard deviation of 10. I'm not sure why. I'm not getting why. Because some is 10 and C is 2, and I don't get it.
I added this because we did this and it's quite easy, and because we have we are given the mean, so we are not using this score for this D. We are given the X of 60, so meaning the score, and then this 55. Let's say for the first one, it means that there are 5 points for this one.
Yes.
What it means that there are 5 points above the mean. Okay. For this. The standard deviation is given. So that's why we use this 10. But sometimes you're not given the score and the mean, but we are told that this kind of distribution, whatever that we have, there are 10 points, the difference between the mean and the score. Sometimes you're told that there are 20, sometimes you're told there are 15, whatever points that we are given. But that doesn't kind of get out, we cannot get away without the standard deviation still. So that's why standard deviation is given. So this D is actually separate. I just added it. Maybe that's where the confusion is coming.
Okay.
It is separate. It's not speaking to and from.
All right. I was just wondering. So yes. Okay. So that's fine. Then it answers my question. Thank you, Jabulani.
Okay. And usually you are given this kind of question, like in the previous 2 years, we give students points, and they get 0, 5 of them, 15 points below, 20 points above. Like, excuse me, I was not taught this, but actually I've included this from the experience that I had before.
Okay. I was just wondering, how do you choose now between A, B, and C to answer D? But you've answered my question now.
No. We're not. There's no answer here. We did A. Okay, I think I know what we're asking. This is not a multiple choice. This is question number 1A, question number 1B, question number 1C, question number 1D. Do you get me?
Yes.
It's not a model. We are not choosing which one is the correct answer. We're doing separate exercises. We did 1A, we did 1B, we did 1C. It's not multiple choice. We're not choosing the answer here. It's not like a quiz. I just included 4 exercises for exercise number 1. So each, ignore these ones. Let's start with A. We want to find Z-score given a mean of 55, standard deviation of 10, and a score of 60. And we know that the formula for Z is this. So for us to find that Z, we are given this, is it? Do we agree? Which is what?
60.
Yes, Teresa, are you with us?
Yes, yes.
And then the mean, this we're given 55.
Yes.
And this the 55. We are given the standard deviation, which is
10, yeah, 10, yeah.
And then we complete the formula, the equation. 60 minus 55, that's 5. And then divide by 10. That's how we got this. And
Correct.
we are done. We are done. Okay, we say let's try another one just to cement our understanding. That's when we went to B. We did the same. Yes. And we said, okay, let's try it again. And we did with a C. And we got this. And I added this just for control so that we understand it maybe much better in case we are given similar or kind of circumstances or questions. That's when we did D, and then we are done.
Thank you.
So it's not like a multiple choice where you are choosing, no. And in your assessment, you are given 5 and usually 10 marks. So let's say it's question number 1. Question number 1. So 2 marks, 2 marks, 2 marks, 2 marks, 2 marks for each.
Do you get like if you have like if you show like 3 of the calculations, but like on number 4 you get it wrong?
I'll give you a 0
like
if you don't include a negative value, Teresa, I'm going to give you a 0 out of 2.
Yes. Okay.
That's negligence.
So the answer, the answer is that gives you the points.
No. Usually the formulas, but now it's Z-score. There's no formula that we talk about here. Like if you give 1 out of 2, it's too lenient, guys. But I understand what you're talking about sometimes, but it's negligence actually. And from a research point of view, that's how we create wrong and incorrect researchers. Yes, Alexia. But I'll give you one. Yes.
I have 2 questions that don't necessarily pertain to the things you just did now. Shall I ask them afterwards or can I ask them
afterwards?
Now?
Afterwards.
Okay. Thank you.
So just to answer Teresa, there's an advantage of doing this. It shows that you know what you're doing, just to answer you. And then the next step, you write your 60 minus 55. And then I will know when I'm grading a paper. I know that you know what you're doing. If I'm nice on that day, I'll give you 1 if you end here. And maybe half even. So 60 minus 55 is 5. So it is important, everyone, to show the steps. It's quite important. And then 10 into 5, that's 0.50. What if someone writes 0.5? Should I give them 2 marks?
No, because it says you must round off to 2 decimals. Yeah.
Thank you. You see, now you're with me again. but they've done this. What should I give them out of 2?
At least 1.
At least.
I mean,
okay.
Saying the student that still have to write the.
Okay, you must pray for me to be nice like that. Okay. But we don't want to create graduates that are very negligent like that. I'm very not strict. It's not about strictness, but I want you to know. It's about you, it's not about me. That's why we are doing these exercises, and then we're asking ourselves even something like this. Okay, now let's do this and then we get done. So these are the formulas that we're using. Now we are going to this formula. Okay. Now we are given. So Teresa, this is not a multiple choice A, B, C, and D, but we are going to do one by one. Yes, yes. So we are starting with this first one. Find the X value corresponding to. So we are given a Z score, we are given a mean score, and we are given standard deviation. What do we do? Anyone? Let's do it quickly, guys, so that we get done. Which color must I use? Let's try this one. What is the formula for X? Plus Z. This is the formula, is it? So let's go. Let's do. Someone, let's be quick. I want to do this in 5 minutes. Yes, yes. Okay. I thought it's a hand. Anyone? Let me pick on people who are not speaking. Fatima, you are quiet today because I said not the Fatimas, and that's why you're quiet.
Hi, sir.
How
Okay,
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We have two Fatimas. Do we have two Fatimas or the one? Okay, it's one. Yes. Okay, the other one is Fatima, and the other one?
It's Fatima also.
Okay, let me speak to the first one and I'll speak to the second one. Yes. Let's do the first one. What do we do?
Okay, we do 50 plus, and then you use your open brackets minus 0.25, close brackets, and then you multiply that by 10.
50 plus, where are we getting that 50? This one, is it?
Yes, the mean.
And the Z is, but now we have a negative here. What do we do now?
We just use an open bracket.
Okay, open bracket and minus 0.25. And then I close the bracket and then I open another one.
Yes, 10.
And 10. And then what is the answer then? What do we do? What is the next phase? 50. What do I do?
You multiply the brackets first. It's negative 0.25 multiplied by 10 gives you negative 5 over 2. And then you add that by 50.
So what about the negative now? So I must put this plus sign still.
No, it gives you the negative 0.25 times 10 gives you negative 5 over 2. So it's 50 minus 5 over 2.
Okay, I heard that you said so it's 50 minus what?
5 over 2.
No, we need not a fraction. We need a decimal.
Sorry, it's 2.5.
2.5, yes, thank you.
Yes. Sorry, using the scientific calculator also.
Yes, 2.50. You must throw away this scientific calculators also. So what is the answer?
The answer is sorry. The answer is 47.5.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So for N1, if we have a plus and a negative sign, the negative overpowers the positive. So it becomes a negative. You subtract. The second person, the other Fatima. The Fatima with F double A. Let me see. Yes.
Hi, Jabulani.
How are you? See, I'm confused. I don't know who is sending me WhatsApp messages. Which Fatima is that? And the other one is a business. The other one convert and change the number. I don't know which one.
Yes. Yeah, I was the one who said afterwards, and then I just check everything. Yeah, after the class. So.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to fight with you. Okay.
Yeah, but we have load shedding now, so I'm gonna try because I'm using other device. But anyway, I think that this will be like So I will have 60 plus 2.5. Right.
Yes.
And then I'll add the 5 for the mean as well.
Which 5? Is this a standard deviation?
Oh, sorry,
It's
the
not
standard deviation.
yes,
The mean is
yes.
60.
You multiply. So let me just clarify. If the values are written like this, means you're multiplying them. Yes. So that's what you're doing here. So you deal with the multiplication first, like what the other Fatima did. So 2.50 times 5. Okay. What is the answer? I'm not trusting you guys anymore. Like someone's going to sit back. This was wrong.
Okay.
And
are we on 12.5? Am I?
12.5. Okay. 12.5. Are we agree, guys? I don't want to like. But even I don't feel bad at all. It's our exercise. It's all of us wrong. Yes, Tabitha?
Yes, sir. Before we continue, I just want to be clear. I see the first exercise that we did when Fatima was explaining.
I get a total of 7.
Okay, yes, you can speak.
Okay. So I see the what is it?
The first one.
The Z scores. Yes.
Okay.
Because
sorry, I
it
don't
was
know. I'm on the
negative.
UPS because of load shedding.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine,
Would our
Fatima. I will
total
finish
be
for you. It's fine.
72.5?
Yes, like this. Yes, thank you. Let me go. Yes,
Okay,
yes. Now you can ask Tabitha.
I'm confused. Who are you speaking to?
No, I'm done with the Fatimas now. I'm Tabitha. Yes.
Yes, I was asking because I see the Z score on the first exercise. The Z score was negative. I wanted to have clarity on that because this one now the Z score is a positive score. I want to check with you. I want to check with you if it's a negative Z score, it should be in a bracket, and then if it's a positive, there's no need to like.
No, it doesn't change. It doesn't change much, but I like what she did because it clarifies this confusion. You can ignore it. Some people are clever, they just write like this. I'm sorry for the word that I've used. Even those they're not so clever like myself, they write like this. But the point is that when we have a positive and negative, it will overpower it to be a negative. But what is important is that we start with the multiplication. So that multiplication is carrying the negative. So that negative will, every time you have a positive and a negative, it will become a negative. That's the point. That is why I included this exercise with the negative. That's why I'm having this negative here as well, so that we fully understand. And that's why I have a negative here as well. That is only kind of difficulty in terms of that calculation. But I think if we do the C1, like I think we can do the C1, Tabitha, what do we do?
Yes, okay, I'm sorry about that.
45.
So we're gonna do 45. And then I'll choose to say plus.
You can ignore the plus even from now. You can even write minus here because we know it's a negative. You can do it like such. It doesn't change anything.
Okay.
Minus 0.50.
0.50, yes.
And then multiply by 8, is it? So what is important, everyone? You start with this, not 45 minus 0. And multiply. Don't do that if you know board math. So what is 0.50 times 8?
It's 4.
Okay, minus 4. So the answer is 4 to 1, is it?
Yes.
Thank you. questions, comments? Who wants to do D and someone do the E? Guys, we need to get done. Who wants to do this? This one. Let me look for people, and I don't even know some of them. I know Teresa, I know Tabitha, I know Rapelane, I know Malefe. Yes, Marianne?
Okay, so 30
this one.
plus
Or 30, sorry, 30, yes. So usually we start with that equation that I'm writing. I'm just cutting.
So the
but it's fine. Let's
equation,
do. Let's start here. It's fine if you know it. So
okay,
30.
so 30 plus bracket minus 1.25
minus 1.25.
Yeah, close bracket. Times bracket 6.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
And then same bond. I see Bonolo is struggling with connectivity, joining, but it's fine. We are recording. Yes.
So minus 1.25 bracket 6, it gives us 30 minus 7.5.
Minus 7.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that will give us 30.
22.5. 22.5.
22.5, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Only there's nothing much. Let's do the last one. I don't know who's going to do this one now. Someone different. Thank you.
Can I try?
Yes, who's this? Let me see. Who's this?
Molefe.
Molefe, yes. Let's try.
I said 20 plus 1.00, and then in brackets I put the 9, the square root of 9.
Why square root of 9?
Not square 9.
Sorry?
Not square root. I made a mistake. I meant squared 9.
You want to square this 9? You're saying I must write, or I must write 9 here?
Yeah, and a square.
Where?
Inside the bracket.
What is this? What is this? What is this actually? What is this?
Oh. Okay, I see where I made my mistake.
Okay, let's start again.
Okay. Okay, but can you give me some time so I can calculate it, then I'll come back.
No, you don't need to calculate. You can do it like straight. What do we do? Tell me, I'll help you. What do we need to do with this 9?
You
We need to convert this variance into a standard deviation, is it? So it means the square root of it. So it's 3. Because variance, standard deviation is the square root of variance. So square root of 9 is 3. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So 20 plus 3. So the answer is 23. So those are some of the, let's say we had squares here. So usually if it's a square here, they will give you 25. And then you say, no, I know how to do it. Jablan taught us, confidently give us, you put a 9 here. It's wrong, 0 out of 3 sometimes, because there's something tricky. And we are doing this so that we are aware and we know when we have an assessment, we are confident, we don't rush, we check what is given to us using the formulas. Like your formula doesn't have this, and you find this. That's why okay, excuse me, we need to convert this into. So it means this 3 is actually the standard deviation like this. Okay. Only. Okay. Comments, questions? Is it, but Z-score is quite, I can't say that loudly. Because yeah, I think it's quite, I'm looking for a word that is not easier. Okay, it's easy to follow. I think so. I'll use that. And next week, we are using the same concept of Z-scores, but we are going to do probabilities. That one you must attend if you can. Please do attend that meeting. It's very important. Otherwise, it's going to be a struggle for you. Questions, comments? Was it helping? But don't feel bad even if you're not getting it like it. It's rare that you understand statistics after an hour meeting and you understand everything. It's rare. But with what we are doing with the Padlet as well, you can follow, and then this recording as well. But it's a boring recording because we are talking and stopping and kind of asking each other and asking the so-called silly questions that are very helpful. But I think you can and you will, and if you check the Padlet as well, you can easily check and try to do, but the answers are there. Some people got it right. Try on your own and check if you're getting the same answers. If you are not, that's why you can, that's why you have a WhatsApp group. Hi guys, but do not, please avoid that. I'm not saying don't, but if you are struggling, do. Let's say we have done exercise week left, next week now, some people are busy and all that. And then now we want to go back to Z-scores. Let us avoid doing that. Let us try to follow what we have. But if we are really struggling, you can send me a private message. Sometimes I do reply, and sometimes I refer you back to the recordings. Yes, Alexia?
Can I ask those questions now, please, sir?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Okay, so I just want to know, is it kind of, obviously reading through the weeklies and everything, there's a lot of information. Is it safe to assume that if we like understand everything that we do in these exercises with you every week, that we're kind of like, okay. And then I think that kind of answers my second question. But for instance, within chapter 5, like on page 126, it kind of says, you know, so in a sample with a standard deviation of S, and then it gives you all the stuff, what is the mean for the sample? So working out something like that, is that something we need to kind of hone in on, or not really?
Okay, for a sample, they'll give you like this.
So yeah, it says, so in a sample with a standard deviation of S equals 6.
Yes.
And then it says a score of X equals 33, which corresponds to a Z score equaling plus 1.50. And then it asks, what is the mean for the sample?
Okay, we use almost, it's a good question, but it's almost the same technique that we're using here.
Okay.
So let's say, so there's nothing that is outside of this, and there's nothing that is outside of
that one.
So you see, I'm writing this for a sample. This is the mean. For population is kind of a U, and then this one is going to be M if it's a sample.
Okay.
Plus Z and S. And then now we are given, if you know mathematics, if you move this, it becomes a negative, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go there because it confuses everyone. But now we are given, what you say, you're given a Z of what?
Z of a positive 1.50.
Yeah, 1.50.
Yeah. And it gives you a standard deviation of 6.
6. And you don't have this.
You don't have the mean.
And what is X?
X is 33.
Yes. So it's almost the same formula like this, but we just substitute, of which I'm avoiding that to avoid, so that we don't confuse people. So we are looking, we can name this X for ourselves like now. So if you move a positive 33 across the equal sign, becomes a negative.
Okay.
And if you move this M to this side, becomes a negative. And so you just substitute and convert, something like that. That's what we're going to be doing there.
Okay, but it's
But
not something I need to, okay.
No. If, like what I've just said, trust me,
Okay.
and everyone else, if the assessment comes and I see that there's a question like that, I will take you through that.
Thank
What
you.
we are doing in the exercises, don't try to do anything outside of that. I've been doing this module for 5 years. And I set the assessments and whatever. So trust me.
Thank you.
But in that trusting, I need you to understand. That's why every time I explain at the beginning of the lecture, what does it mean? Why is standard deviation? What are we doing? What we did last week? Okay, where are we doing what we're doing now? And then even for next week, I explain we use this for next week. And I was saying, why were we kind of forcing you to understand the calculation of the mean and the standard deviation? You see that the mean is there in the formula for z-scores. So everything is almost connected. Okay. So these are the two formulas. Whatever that is given to you, you are able to calculate. And you can even use this formula for your scenario. You can just replace, and try to put it outside on its own. It will still take you to this. So like what I just said earlier, those are some of the funny questions just to strengthen your understanding. But at this stage, for this module, we focus on this. Okay, thank you, Alexia. Anyone else? Are these old hands or new hands? Yes, Ponolo, is there?
It's a new hand. I wanted to ask, when it comes to the quizzes, maybe after the week has passed, are you able to give us the answers for them? Because on the quiz, it just gives you the answer at the end, and I would have tried something and I would have got it wrong. So maybe I need to just go back and check where I would have gone wrong. Is there a possibility of you giving us the answers after the week has passed so that we can just check where we went wrong? Because I think there was a question like this in the quiz.
Okay, yes, I know.
I just asked where we were missing one value.
Yes, I saw it. I don't set the quiz. I saw the question because there was. Okay. You see, we do not talk about the quiz, but some people are still going to take it. So you can send a private message if that happens. Let's say Jabulani, I got 4, but I think I'm supposed to get 5. You're not talking about, I know this is correct. Where am I getting it wrong? I can help. But when you send a message, please introduce yourself. Especially WhatsApp. WhatsApp is quick. I can even take a picture if I'm free, or if I tell you I'll come back to you later. I do that. So if you have such cases, feel free to send me a direct message, like WhatsApp. The other message takes long to come to me. So you can feel free, email, even WhatsApp, feel free, use my number. We have it, we are family. Yes, Abdullah, and then we call it an evening.
Thank you, Jabulani. Jabulani, I had a question. And I think it's just a conceptual thing I need to learn. A normal distribution figure is the bell shape.
Yes.
What is that? I understand that that's the ideal distribution, but should I say normal equals ideal?
It's a theory. It is believed that we must challenge that theory. It is believed that the population scores on their own, they are normally distributed. There are a lot of people at the center. There are few people in the negatives and the positives. That's how it. So it's coming from a kind of histogram like this. Excuse my writing. This is a histogram. That's where that is. So they tested a lot of things in the world, and then they realized that all this causes depression, happiness, what is like. If you draw a line to connect this, that's where it's coming from. That's normal distribution. So it's a theory. So now if we collect data from a sample, it is expected that the sample should also be normally distributed if it is a good sample. So we cannot know if our sample is excellent before statistics. We'll know after performing statistical tests.
Thank you very much, Jabulani.
But most of that is why researchers make use of bigger samples. The bigger the sample, the higher the chances of having a normally distributed sample. The small samples, they are skewed. They like, okay, this class, like it happens. We don't expect like this class, for example, 10 of you to have scores of 80, 90, and then only 5 people have less scores. We don't expect that to happen. We expect to have a kind of a balance. A lot of scores at the center, a lot of them, and then few people at the end, But that is not, doesn't always happen like that. But anyway, that's a good question. Okay, let's find a person to say something positive to us. We're talking about numbers and all those things. And guys, this is very excellent what we are doing. Don't take it lightly. It takes a lot of effort from my side, even from your side. Excuse me, you have better things to do than statistics. You can watch your series if you want to. And it's your life. And but we are having this time to listen to whatever that we don't understand, trying to convince our minds that we can get these. And like what I've just said in the first lecture, we need statistics. And because everything goes back to there are no lies. I believe that numbers don't lie because there are theories around it. So in the whole world, people agree. They use the same Z-score. Even if you go to America and whatever now, you can see it in their office. Whatever they're discussing, if they're talking about descriptive, they will use the same formula. If they're talking about Z-scores, use the same formula. In comparison to emotions. So emotions, we can measure them most of the time. So yeah, the last person say something positive and then we call it an evening. And thank you for attending. Don't be rude and leave before we say something positive. Don't be rude like that. It's a personality problem. Don't do that if you want to work with people. I used to do that. Like, excuse me, bye for what? I've been here for long. I want to leave. It's your class. It's not mine. Anyone positive? Guys, ladies and gentlemen, please.
It's raining in the Free State at the end of July, which is insane. And I can't tell whether that's due to climate change or really cool because we have a lot of drought here.
There's no climate change.
That's why I'm saying
the climate is always changing.
It's very dry in the Free State. It's not normal for us to usually get rain here. So it's quite cold, but it's nice that we have water falling from the sky.
Okay, I think it's something positive. I'm a farmer myself and I like it. I don't like this. I want to quit statistics. I told you, I want to leave these statistics one of these days. If all you guys, 5 of you become lecturers in statistics and psychology, then I'll quit. But anyway, thank you so much for such positive and don't be discouraged. You follow the videos, we are recording everything, the Padlet, and we are family. And even don't hesitate to ask those so-called silly questions. I'm here to guide and support you. Thank you. I'm tired.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.